Okay guys, I just want to go over really quickly about a few points when changing your PCV piping and your flame trap. One of the things you'll need to do, as I point out, is that you'll need to take your fuel line off, and there's a couple bolts. There is a disconnect tool that you'll need to use. I use here something from Napa, and you can see here it's the gray one. It's an 8mm size, or 5/16 is the size of that, and you'll need to use that when you're disconnecting the fuel rail itself. It pushes in where the fuel rail meets the pipe coming in, and you'll need that same tool to reconnect the fitting. So you use it to disconnect and reconnect. Okay. Other things to note are there is a valve here where you let some of the fuel out. You just unscrew that, and it looks like a bicycle tire valve. You just push your finger in there or something, and it releases some fuel. Probably just hold a rag. I think I held a rag. In addition to replacing all my PCV items, I also, as you can see, I went through and I replaced all the hoses with high quality silicone ones. Also, to make it easier to get around, I just disconnected this strut mount, just to make more room. You'll also need to move your power steering out of the way. This just pops up, and you move the hose out of the way. This nut also has to come off. This metal tang just gets pushed out of the way, and then you can unbolt it here. And then there's a couple bolts here where you can disconnect this. I just popped it up and just moved it out of the way. There's also a serpentine belt. You'll need to loosen that. Sometimes it's difficult to loosen this, given the location of the tensioner, and so sometimes you can do that by taking the wheel off on the passenger side to get more access, which is what I did. Also, one of the things that I point out is that on 03 models and up, the thermostat housing, as you can see here, it uses Torx bit to take that off. The Torx bit bolts were stripping, especially the bottom one. Looks like somebody had been in there a few times. And what I did was I was able to put it back on using some RTV, because it was stripping. I didn't take it off at all. What I did was taking the manifold off, the intake manifold off, the last bolt, what I did was I loosened it as far as it would go, and then it's not, the manifold's not in there per se. It doesn't have a hole. It's more like a hook shape, so you can slide the manifold off once you back that screw off enough. When you get your gasket, just cut around the gasket where you want to put that intake gasket back in. Okay. It was pretty straightforward. You do need to take your charge intake pipe off. This connects here and there and there. There was also an engine, I want to call it an engine hook or whatever you call it. It was over here, just getting in the way. I just removed it. I don't plan on removing the engine anytime soon, so I just moved that out of the way. I also found these low profile, you see they're very thin walled sockets from Craftsman to be helpful. around this car when taking the bolts off. One of the things I wish I had done, which I'm noticing now, is that the oil cap does have a gasket, and as you can see, it's kind of wet. So note to self: replace the oil cap gasket soon. And it's basically it's a straightforward job. I did not take off my my throttle body down here where it connects to the intake. I did not take that off. I left it on, which was doable. I didn't need to take that off to get to the banjo bolt. And that's basically it. Questions or concerns? Put it in the post. Thanks.